Hi guys, welcome back to the Bandits Show after a couple of weeks off. Joined by Luke. We've not got a group this time. Me and Luke are going to be talking you through everything that happened in week one of the NFL because football's back, finally. Look at that smile.
At last. What an enjoyable Sunday it was. Just sat
Exactly.
7 hours of uninterrupted football. No better way to spend a Sunday.
It was brilliant. So much drama, as would be expected with no pre-season and...
Yeah. A lot of teams at different sort of levels. A lot of teams hitting the ground running and some teams seeming... I don't know, there was a few teams that just seemed like they'd literally just missed 4 weeks of pre-season.
Yeah,
Some teams it didn't look like it bothered them. Maybe this goes back to, I know every year there's that debate of should starters play in pre-season and should they play those games. I know the Rams are a team that don't play any starters. Goff doesn't play, Donald doesn't play. In the past, Gurley didn't play. Not a single start. And it was always sort of questioned. I think it's the new age of not wanting to risk a player in a pre-season game.
But I think this clearly shows the value of pre-season for some people.
Yeah, definitely. Some needed it.
People like Tom Brady, if you're going into a new system, then you need a pre-season.
Yeah.
But talking about the way that a pre-season can affect, we were saying upsets. What better way to start than the Jaguars?
Charlie will be happy.
Yeah, the Jaguars toppling the Colts in what looked like it was going to be their tank season. But I mean, their rookies balled out. It's got people. CJ Henderson got the game-winning deflection, and
he got picked as well, I believe.
Yeah, he did. And I mean, Myles Garrett, not Myles Garrett. That's a very different player. Gardner Minshew. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm trying to go for that. Gardner Minshew, obviously not a rookie, but balled out as well, completing 95% of his passes.
That was just crazy. Yeah, it's a really great performance from him. Like if you've watched the QB rankings and me and Chris, he wasn't very high on either of our lists, but I had a lot of question marks. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sold. I still think Gardner Minshew is the future in Jacksonville, but he's taking the right steps, and what a great game he had, and he should be applauded for it.
And I mean, the Colts defense is nothing to sort of joke about. It's not the thing that would have
got a good D-line.
They went out and got DeForest Buckner to improve that D-line, and then Darius Leonard at linebacker.
Yeah,
got some good young corners as well, and I think Gardner Minshew, I don't know, he just sort of lit it up. Why not? It must have been fans in the stand. One of the only two teams.
He had a really good game. I was impressed from what I saw.
Early on, though, it looked all Colts. And then it was
it was -7.5, wasn't it? And they went out to an early lead, and I think everyone thought it was going to be like the Ravens down in Miami last year. Sorry for bringing that back up, Ben. But no, it just did have that feel. Philip had a good drive.
Yeah,
they moved the ball well. He sort of spread it around different receivers. He looked like he was having a good game himself. Obviously, a lot of time behind a good line. But the Colts, the Jags stuck around, and that'll be really disappointing for the Colts. They must be really sort of disappointed that they've gone to Jacksonville and lost, because I still don't think Jacksonville are going to go out and win 8-9 games. I still think this is a sort of 6 at best team. But the Colts will be disappointed. They've lost to an AFC South team, which is not going to stand them in good stead. Maybe they needed that pre-season.
The Jaguars
again, QB in a new system, like I said.
Yeah, the Jags may feel that this is sort of their year where they feel like Gardner Minshew is the future, and they don't have to lose all the games and get Trevor Lawrence. They just have to get a top 5 pick and get a good player and start building.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said, the fact that everyone's saying the Jags are in a tanking for Lawrence. They're going for Lawrence. They're going for the number 1. They're going to go 0-16. They're doing this, they're doing that. Well, as if I was playing in that team, that'd just rile me up, and I'd be like, no, we're not doing that. We're all still professional football players. We all want to go out. We want to prove you all wrong, and Gardner Minshew seems like that type of guy that can use that and rally the troops around that. And they obviously cut Fournette, Ramsey, were Ngakwe. We're all sort of the problem with those guys. I think they played in such a good Jags team, and that Jags team isn't there anymore. And maybe they're just a little bit annoyed about that, and they've took it out on the wrong people. And even though they're probably disappointed they couldn't get anything for Fournette, it was probably the right thing to do. Just start fresh. I remember seeing a picture. I think it was the weekend before the first game. I think it was Josh Allen. Is it Josh Allen, the defensive end for the Jags? He just tweeted something like a picture in a Jags jersey, like happy to be here, Duval. And I thought they are sort of rallying. They are sort of all happy to be there. It's seen as this sort of negative place, but they all seem up for it, and they've had such a great start to the season.
Maybe that's the attitude that they want. Maybe it was just
us against the world.
It seemed when Tom Coughlin went last year, it seemed like they were just going to get rid of Marone and get rid of Caldwell, and then they were going to start fresh. But maybe it was just that Coughlin needed going, and then they've found the right attitude and feel confident with where they're at.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Jags starting off 1-0 and going 27-20 over the Colts. Another interesting game up in the NFC North. We've got the Bears and the Lions. Where Mitch Trubisky, typical Mitch Trubisky things for 3 quarters, and then suddenly morphed into Aaron Rodgers for the last quarter, and threw for 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's not often you see sort of turnarounds like that. It just looked like everyone said the Bears were not a good team, and Mitch wasn't a very good quarterback, and they were well on their way to a 3-13 season type thing. But obviously, an unbelievable comeback from them. That touchdown he threw to Miller, I think it was absolutely pin perfect. Like you'll struggle to find a better throw in football. It was absolutely on the money. I did think when they named Mitch to start, and maybe Nick Foles is the right guy to sort of guide Mitch a little bit. I get the impression. Yeah, I think he needed. Some people said Cam Newton, but I think Cam Newton would have gone there to compete. I think maybe Nick Foles. I don't know. I might be wrong. Maybe Nick Foles has been told, "Come here. You may get a start. Mitch, we still want to give Mitch time, so just come here, be a good guy with him, be a sort of bit of a veteran presence." Because Nick Foles has been around the block. He's been with a lot of teams. He's been in a lot of systems. He's worked with a lot of different coaches and QBs. Similar in a way to how Case Keenum's sort of bobbed around the league. Still think Nick Foles can play in this league, but maybe that's what the Browns wanted. But at the same time, they spent a lot of money on him and they traded for him. So I'm not sure. But Mitch in that fourth quarter looked like the 3rd overall pick.
This is obviously that's the Mitch Trubisky from a few years ago when you think about it as well. This maybe Nick Foles was brought in as just sort of, if you're not gonna be that guy who can lead us to the playoffs again, then we've got someone else who's willing to take your job. Come on.
Maybe it was that final sort of like wake-up call for him.
Yeah.
You need to get going. This is your last shot with the Birds. All right, you might get a shot somewhere else, but this is your last chance with us.
Yeah, that might have been it. It might have been end of the 3rd quarter. Someone may have just said, Nick Foles is warming up on the sideline. You might want to...
the Lions are not a great team. And the Lions flipping it. The Lions should have won it.
Oh, yeah.
DeAndre Swift should be catching that, and the Lions should be walking off winners. And we should be talking about this game like it's an almost great comeback. But yeah, they're not going to come up against the Lions every week. They've got a tough. They've got to play the Packers, who look good. They've got to play the Vikings, who are a better side than themselves. And they've got to play them twice.
Well, the Lions. I don't know whether this is going to be what the Lions look like, but they could probably get out some scrappy wins if they're going to play like they did for most of this game.
Yeah, they need to. You need to finish that game though.
Yeah.
23. Was it 23-6 in the fourth
brought
quarter? Like you need to be putting that game away. And this is a huge year for, I think, for Matt Stafford and Matt Patricia. Like, I like Matt Stafford. I
Yeah.
think he's a great quarterback, but they need to start winning football games, and both of those guys need to start winning football games. And they've got some pieces around them. There's some guys on defense. They've got some pieces on offense. Obviously, they were missing Kenny Galladay on Sunday.
I mean, if it keeps going like this for them, I can't see Matt Patricia even lasting this season. I know it was
Probably not. No.
I sort of thought this is his last year. He'll probably get the full season, but
Is this his third or his fourth year?
This is his third year.
Third year.
Was Super Bowl, which was it? Super Bowl 53 was his last. Oh no, so this would be his second. I don't know. Or it might have been 52 was his last Patriots one.
I can't remember. But yeah, it's 2 or 3 years. It's definite. I think it's definitely his third year. Yeah. But yeah, it's about time they started winning. Like you say, he's not going to be in the job much longer.
Yeah, I mean, he may go and rejoin the Patriots, and with what they've got there, that seems to be the pattern, you know.
Yeah, don't quite make it.
And tried doing his own thing and went back.
Yeah. So, I mean, some guys, I mean, I've not been watching football all my life, but I've been watching it long enough, and some guys are just not head coaches. They're really, really, really good coaches, but they just don't have that head coach vibe about them. It's just one of those things.
I'd probably say the best example of that is Adam Gase, who's currently at the Jets.
Yeah.
Obviously, before we signed him as a head coach, in the sense of he was seen as this quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
He was always, and we thought, right, Ryan Tannehill's not sort of working. Let's get someone who can work one-on-one with him.
Yeah.
And just turned out he's not supposed to be a head coach. And I mean,
I'm surprised he got on at the Jets, to be honest. I don't really understand what the Jets saw.
He'll be I think he should downgrade and go back to QB coaching, because he's had experience and he's had a good record at it. And
yeah.
He's obviously still young. If he can stay in coaching for a while, he might.
Maybe he needs to just have a little reset, just take a step back. Like you said, go and work under a different head coach.
Yeah.
Go and work as a QB coach in Kansas. Go and work as a QB coach in Baltimore. Go and play for one of these go and work for one of these franchises that are successful and winning. No disrespect to the Dolphins and Jets.
No, it's and just like obviously go somewhere and pick things up from like people. Like if you did go to Kansas and just pick things up off Andy Reid, one of the most successful coaches, and the people who come out of his coaching tree go and have success in other places.
Yeah, and he's got another one like well on his way as well. His OC Eric. I can never say his last name, but his OC Eric. Yeah. He's obviously the next sort of high-flying OC to take a job.
Yeah, and he'll get his chance somewhere soon enough. So
possibly the Jets
in Kansas. Possibly. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Then I'll move on to next game. I've got AFC North, and I've got the Browns doing typical Browns things on opening weekend. But the Ravens look good. The Ravens like sort of winners again.
I watched Thursday Night Football, and to me, the Chiefs. I'm going off, but the Chiefs didn't look like they got out of second gear.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what the Ravens sort of did. It was casual. I don't think Lamar Jackson really broke a sweat. Yeah, he was running around, but when he's sort of his sort of jogging, is everyone's sprinting. He's so fast and elusive, and it just looked so easy. And it's a shame that the Browns weren't quite up to it. Maybe the Browns are one of those teams we'll find in 2 or 3 weeks were missing that pre-season.
Yeah,
like I said, the new head coach. This is something that Paul mentioned quite a while ago, probably at the start of all this. I think it might have been one of the first podcasts. It might have been the first one with you and yourself and Charlie. And I remember him talking about the teams that will do well this year are the teams that have familiarity, and the teams that have not got a lot of change. Because through the games, you'd probably find a trend that the teams, you look, Mike McCarthy, new head coach, lost. Cleveland Browns, what's his name?
Oh, no. Kevin Stefanski,
lost. Like new QBs, Brady, Rivers, both lost.
Yeah.
Like I can't round them all off on the top of my head, but maybe that sort of continuity and that familiarity has helped these teams guide through not having pre-season. It might be a funny year. There might be teams that struggle for a couple of weeks and they look like they're just destined to tail out and have a rubbish season and really hit it when they get into that season form.
I think one thing that obviously I was saying, I was looking for Lamar Jackson to improve. I was saying I want to see him become a better passer because he's always this great runner. And I think to see him actually sit in the pocket a lot more, and he didn't seem like he was always, his first option was always passed, and then his second option was run.
He's developing really well. He is.
I think he's if he keeps going that way, this is should be another great season for the Ravens. 38-6 on opening weekend. There was no other game that came close to looking like this. I mean,
no, it was comfortable. It was comfortable from the outset, really.
There was a few comfortable wins, but there was nothing like this.
No.
Baker
it's a bit of a shame for the Browns, but we'll hold off on sort of killing the Browns just yet. It's a new head coach, new system, new time, and
like you pointed out on Sunday, Paul's MVP currently starting off really well. Another game that I'll actually swap this around. I didn't mention this one today. I've just seen it, seen the scoreline. I want to talk about the Chargers and Bengals. Got to say that. Obviously, we had a number 1 draft pick.
Yeah.
Going out there and looking incredibly strong, really. I mean, he made one mistake, I think, through the entire game. He made one really bad mistake.
Yeah, he pitched it to Melvin Ingram. Not the best idea, but yeah. No, it was, that was a little bit of just trying to do too much. Yeah. Like, he could have probably run out of bounds and lost a yard or two. He didn't have the normal rabbit in the headlights look that a lot of the rookies had. He looked very composed. He looked like an NFL quarterback.
Yeah. I think one thing I was a bit surprised by is sort of how calm he was towards the end, because I watched a lot of sort of the first quarter because it was the earliest starting game out of the late window. And the Chargers really got after Joe Burrow. I think they sacked him 3 times in the first half. I think that was...
they're getting a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure, yeah.
And for that to happen, and you like your first game, and then to go out and lead a 2-minute drill.
Yeah. It was unlucky as well. I mean, it was a push-off. AJ Green pushed off on Hayward. But he put the ball where it needed to be. And Joe Burrow did exactly what he needed to do, which was make it a catchable ball in the corner of the end zone for Green.
I mean, if it wasn't for what I can only describe as sort of a typical Bengals thing, the kicker pulling his hamstring and missing a kick.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, apparently he pulled his right calf, and then it's come out that his left calf's injured. I think it was a little bit of missed it. Oh, but me leg.
Yeah. It did seem like at first, because I didn't see what happened. I just saw the shanked kick, and I saw him limping. I thought he's faking that just for staying his contract.
Gave a bit of face. Yeah, it was a bit of a shame. It would have been nice to see him nice to see him go into overtime and see what he was made of again. Because again, overtime's a bit like a 2-minute drill. You've got one potential shot, and that's it. You can't make a mistake. But it was a pretty poor game, really.
But what you can't expect.
Chargers are what they are. They're not Tyrod's not a top tier quarterback, unfortunately. They're just sort of taking the time before Herbert comes in. But
I mean, if Joe Burrow looks like that every week, then I think, offensive rookie of the year would definitely be heading his way.
I just feel sorry for Joe Burrow because I just feel like that team's a long way off being a sort of good football team.
Yeah.
I mean, they have got some
Carrying a
pieces.
franchise day one.
Yeah. AJ Green's towards the end, not the end, but he's getting up there. They've got a couple of good receivers. I think Joe Mixon's a good running back. They've got some guys on defense, but it's not a great. It's not a great. He's going to have to do a lot of it himself, which will lend itself to potential Rookie of the Year award if they do pick up.
Sort of a thing that we saw with Kyler Murray last year. Kyler Murray got told, you're going to lead this franchise. It's yours from day one. And went out there and balled out.
He did what he could with because last year the Cardinals' defense was pretty poor. They've improved, and offensively they've improved. They've put a lot more weapons around him. But yeah, it's tough when you the first piece you get as a franchise is that franchise QB.
Yeah.
And then you build around that guy. Well, you've got to remember that first year or two is going to be a little tough for him.
I mean, what a perfect way to go into sort of that Cardinals 49ers game.
Yeah.
Where I think going into it, I was expecting sort of, Kyler Murray to still look a bit shaky, so it's only year 2. And I was expecting Jimmy Garoppolo to look sort of back and poised and ready for another good season. And it was sort of the opposite way around, Jimmy Garoppolo looked really shaky, and then
it was a little bit strange watching Jimmy Garoppolo in the pocket.
Yeah, Kyler Murray having a great...
Jimmy had a Jimmy.
Yeah. I was just saying, Kyler Murray's got some new toys to play with. Him and DeAndre Hopkins look great. DeAndre Hopkins had 15 receptions his first game. Nothing but a great performance. Kyler Murray's touchdown run was phenomenal.
Phenomenal for me because he's in fantasy. So yeah, I was cheering. I've actually I've doubled down on the Cardinals, so I've got Hopkins and Kyler Murray. So I was cheering on those two. Which the 49ers surprised me, and that game, I'm not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't watch every sort of second of it. I feel like I can't decide. I think it's probably that the Niners are not quite what they were last year just yet. Not saying they're not going to be that team. And I think the Cardinals have improved. I think it wasn't that one team was good and one was bad. I think it was a culmination of Cardinals improved, 49ers maybe. Maybe the 49ers were one of those teams that missed out on having that pre-season. Jimmy seriously looked like he missed out on having a pre-season.
We'll get through one more game really quick, and I think the most surprising game of the day was obviously the Washington football team, 1-0. Obviously, I think I heard you start talking about when I said they left the window open and they just creeped straight back into the game.
Yeah, it's a strange one, the Eagles. I mean, yeah, they had some injuries on that O-line, but there was still decent players on that O-line, and Carson Wentz is still meant to be Houdini, but they just could not handle that Washington front, and it showed. I think they got eight sacks. Was it the Skins? Sorry, not the Skins. The Washington football team.
We'll have to watch ourselves that one.
Yeah, it was a peculiar game. It sort of was a game of two halves in a way, like the old-fashioned saying of the Eagles looked like they were absolutely dominant. They were making big plays. Dallas Goedert was catching touchdowns. Rager was getting a 50-yard bomb. Sean Jackson was catching the ball. The run game wasn't really there, but they were up. I think they were
17-0.
17-0 up, I thought 17-3 up. Went and he really, really struggled. They couldn't obviously get any offense going, and Dwayne Haskey made some plays, and like you said, Peyton Barber did. Yeah, I mean, Wentz made a stupid mistake through a pick, and the game got away from the Eagles.
So not a team that I definitely didn't expect them to be doing stuff like that on week one. But obviously we'll give them time. I think the Eagles will pick it back up.
Hopefully not this week. Got the Rams this week.
We'll see. Obviously, I think the Rams looked more consistent after this week. But I think one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck out, I think, a performer of the week this week for offense and defense. I've got so my offensive performer of the week it just kind of has to be Russell Wilson. I think it looks like he finally gained control of the offense, like full control that he's never been given. He just ran away with the game.
It really is. Yeah.
Then my defense is I've got to be a homer for once. I've got Jerome Baker for the Dolphins. This is probably a stat line that will go unnoticed and probably won't make any like mainstream media. He had 17 tackles in the game, 3 of which were for a loss. He had 1 sack and he had a forced fumble. For a second year.
No, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, for a second year guy.
Quite a performance.
For a second year guy, and you can tell that obviously Brian Flores, as a former linebacker coach, has really had an impact on him and made him into a good player.
Yeah, Brian Flores is one of the most exciting coaches in the league, in my opinion. I think the Dolphins are on to win it.
Yeah. Have you got anyone you want to highlight from the week gone?
Right. I'm surprised they didn't sort of offensive player of the week. I'd have to go Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
I don't know his actual stat line. Let me just pull it up. 156 yards, 14 receptions, 2 touchdowns. An unbelievable performance. Obviously, a shout out to Aaron Rodgers for putting the ball on him. But that's just a great performance by the Packers as well. Can't take nothing away from them.
Yeah, obviously, another thing that keeps all us fans excited during the season, fantasy.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're a fan of the Bandits on Facebook, you'll have known all of our teams. But what an opening week we've had! Such score lines as 173 to 107. I mean, we've had some really close games. I think you lost by just over 10 points.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley did me. I did never expect Calvin Ridley to put up 30 plus points.
I think my interesting. I had an interesting idea. I had lucky bastard of the week. To anyone who started Devontae Adams with the idea that he'd get 40 points in fantasy.
Who was it?
So I'm trying to find who had Devontae Adams now.
It was against Chris. Chris told me he was against him.
Ooh.
I'm not sure who he was against.
Yeah, Devontae Adams. So it was Jake. Jake had Devontae Adams, and I mean, Chris had some bad luck there. Cortland Sutton is out of the game completely. And his opposite matchup at wide receiver, Devontae Adams, 41 points.
Chris has got a take were out and just didn't take snaps. It's crazy.
So, yeah. So after 1 week, we've got. I'll post all the standings up on our Facebook, but that's 1 week in the bag for fantasy. You're looking for a bounce back there next week.
Yeah, I'm looking for a week 2 bounce back. Who have I got next week? I'm just looking now.
You got me.
Oh, is it?
You got me, and I currently have a quarterback dilemma, so you can.
Oh, who's your quarterback?
I either have Russell Wilson or Josh Allen.
But you've got CMC, so it's all good.
Mm.
Sure, I'm okay with my team. I'm not. I mean, I accidentally dropped Austin Hooper halfway through the Sunday games, which was a stupid thing to do. I was just looking at stats of players because I had some bets on. I'm trying to find the best app or the best website that updates the stats receptions. So I ended up using the watch list or wish list on Sleeper and clicked on Austin Hooper and ended up dropping him. So who knows if I'll get him back? I'll have to get him in a waiver claim.
Another standout performance from the weekend is Adam Thielen.
Yeah,
I had Adam Thielen. He's got 6 out of 8 receptions, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns, and they've even highlighted that he's got a tackle on his stats. So
I did see that. Someone else that they had a tackle. I thought that was interesting. I think mine's going to have to be Hopkins. Just didn't quite. He got that touchdown and they called it the one. I might have beat Eli because I have Murray as well, and then I think they ended up running it with Drake.
yeah,
And I lost. Yeah, I lost by 12. I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are. It would have been a hell of a lot closer if that touchdown still.
my biggest mistake was definitely thinking Rob Gronkowski would get a touchdown.
Who, sorry?
Rob Gronkowski thought he'd get a touchdown.
Oh, right, yeah.
Did not. Right,
I mean,
so, go on.
yeah, he didn't have a great game. 2 receptions, 11 yards. Can't have it all.
Yeah.
You won, so it doesn't matter.
Right, let's. I've got some games for week 2.
Watching it on Sunday with Jack, and he was moaning every time Aaron Jones touched the ball.
Yeah. Got some matchups week 2 in the NFL. We'll get some predictions going. So we've got Thursday night football this week, which is obviously Bengals and Browns.
It's a humdinger. I will not be staying up for it.
I'm going to go Bengals. I think after last week, it's a good chance for them to get a win.
What's the line? We need to start doing a betting show. Yeah, I don't know. That's a poor Thursday night game. It's not something I'll be watching. I'll watch it Friday afternoon if it's a good decent score.
I'm gonna chuck out another one. I've got Falcons and Cowboys. Who have you got there?
I'm gonna go Cowboys. I think the Cowboys played well against the Rams. I think the Rams played well. I think it was a game of 2 teams that didn't look like they needed that off that pre-season. Yeah, I think the Cowboys. I know they've obviously 0-1, but I still think the Cowboys will be a good team this year.
I think I've got Cowboys there as well. They looked good, and I mean they were. Obviously, it seemed like one controversial call, which I didn't see live. Away from being in a tied game, really. So.
Yeah, I mean, Greg Zuerlein's not missing from 30 yards. They're potentially going to win the game. There wasn't a lot of time left on the clock, so your chances are you're going to overtime. But I don't know. It was a weird one. I watched it live, and when I first saw it, obviously you can't see it when it's happening, but when you see the replay, and there was a hand there, but I don't know how much Gallup's actually really pushed off and how much he could have affected Ramsey. But at the same time, my thought was why would Ramsey sort of flop like that? Because he wasn't actually in a terrible position.
Yeah.
He could have quite easily. So you don't know because nobody knows how hard he pushed him or what. But the game's over now. The Rams won now.
Let's see. I think this could be interesting. Panthers and Bucks.
I thought the Panthers played all right on Sunday. That was a bit of a picking game for me. The Raiders look good as well, but yeah, the Bucks. Everyone's anointed them NFC Championship game type team. You can't be going over to and going to the NFC Championship game, so we need to pull some down. I think the Bucks will probably win that boat.
I'm gonna.
I feel like the Panthers. I mean, there's one thing about the Panthers. You've got Christian McCaffrey in the team, and he's probably the most dynamic and explosive offensive player in football, and
Yeah.
you just can't account for him. Like he could quite easily take it to the house 3 times, and you're down 21-6.
Yeah. I'll go with the upset.
We'll see. I'd probably go Bucks, but that's just yeah.
I'll go upset. I'll pick the Panthers on that one. I think they look more complete, and I think as much as the Buccaneers have a really good roster, they're going to also need a couple of weeks to sort of gel.
Again, that pre-season probably would have been ideal for the Bucks.
We've got one more. I think the most interesting game, I think, looking at the week 2 schedule, is the Patriots and the Seahawks. So, I mean, the Patriots looked good at the weekend.
Yeah, it's a strange one, really. I think the Seahawks are going to be really good this year. Chris Carson looked like he had a good game. Russell Wilson, like you said, had a really good game. He's got some very good receivers. Jamal Adams is running around having fun, as he says. Never seen the team score 38 points or a team he played for. Can't look past the Seahawks at the minute.
Yeah, I do see the Seahawks winning. I see them struggling with Cam Newton though.
He's such a dynamic QB, and he's such a problem for defensive coordinators. He always has been. Because he's not like your prototypical running QB like Kyler Murray, where you can try and put a little spy in, or Lamar Jackson. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not easy to scheme against, but he's so different to those because you put a spy in, and if Cam fancies it, he's going to bulldoze him over and get the first down anyway.
Yeah, he looked good, and I think the Seahawks defensive line isn't that great at the minute. So I think Seahawks will win, but it'll be a close one.
Yeah, Sunday night football, isn't it? Monday night football.
Sunday night football.
Yeah, no, it's a good game. It's a good game.
Yeah, that's it's quite an interesting one. I didn't know that was coming up, but yeah, I think that's a good little run through of week 1 of the NFL. Should be we'll be back next week. I'll put all the fantasy updates on Bandits Facebook, so make sure you go into the description and follow us on there.
Yeah, keep an eye on our league.
Thanks for joining me, and thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe for more content from us, and check out all of our social media links down in the description: Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Remember to watch all the other content on the Bandits Show, and see you next time.